God told me to warn you. I am sending someone. You're forcibly moving and getting married. There is a quiet reason this message found you today, and it may have more to do with your heart than you realize. Before you move on, give yourself a moment to listen, because something within you has been asking for direction even if you never said the words out loud. Stay with this, because what you are about to hear is not about pressure or fear. It is about recognizing that life sometimes begins to shift, long before your eyes can see it. Perhaps you have felt an unusual restlessness lately, a gentle feeling that the place you stand today is not where your story will remain forever. You may have tried to ignore it, convincing yourself that everything should stay the same. Yet deep inside, there has been a quiet voice reminding you that growth often begins with movement, even when the destination is still hidden. Sometimes God prepares a new chapter by placing unexpected people along your path. They are not always loud, impressive, or immediately recognizable. Often they arrive through ordinary conversations, simple acts of kindness, or moments that seem too small to matter. Yet later, when you look back, you realize those moments quietly changed everything. Someone may soon enter your life with wisdom you did not know you needed, offering encouragement instead of pressure and understanding instead of confusion. Their presence may awaken parts of your heart that have been patiently waiting for permission to hope again. You do not have to force anything into existence. What belongs in your journey will unfold with peace, one step at a time. There is something important here, because the people meant for your future often appear when you have finally stopped trying to control every outcome. You may also notice that your heart has been changing in ways you cannot fully explain. Things that once felt permanent no longer carry the same weight, while dreams you almost forgot have quietly returned to your thoughts. That is not a coincidence. Growth often begins inside before it becomes visible outside. You may feel torn between the comfort of familiar surroundings and the quiet excitement of discovering what is ahead. This inner hesitation is completely natural. Every meaningful transition asks us to release something comfortable before embracing something beautiful. If a new place eventually becomes part of your journey, let it remind you that moving is not simply about changing locations. It is about making room for a version of yourself that could never fully emerge if everything remained exactly the same. There is another gentle truth resting beneath all of this. Love is rarely built through hurry or loud promises. It grows through trust, patience, and moments when two hearts slowly recognize the peace they bring to one another. If marriage has crossed your mind recently, or if you have quietly wondered whether that chapter will ever arrive, allow yourself to breathe instead of worrying. Some stories begin in ways no one expects, and the most meaningful connections often develop after seasons that once felt confusing. Do not miss what comes next, because the next part of this message explores why certain changes that once seemed impossible may actually be preparing your heart for a future filled with deeper purpose and lasting peace. You may not have noticed it yet, but your perspective has been quietly changing in ways that only become clear when you pause long enough to reflect. The things you once chased with urgency no longer hold the same power over you, and the dreams you almost dismissed have begun returning with a quiet confidence. That is often how meaningful transformation begins. It does not arrive with loud announcements. It grows through ordinary days, gentle lessons, and moments when your heart realizes it has become stronger than it used to be. Stay with this, because there is a beautiful connection between the changes happening within you and the people you are about to meet. Life has a remarkable way of bringing the right conversations into your path when your spirit is finally ready to hear them. There may come a moment when someone enters your life with a calm presence that feels surprisingly familiar. You may wonder why speaking with them feels so effortless, or why their encouragement reaches places inside you that others never seem to understand. It is not about instant answers or dramatic moments. It is about recognizing peace where there was once uncertainty. Their words may inspire you to consider opportunities you had overlooked, or remind you that you are capable of embracing a future that once felt beyond your reach. If the thought of moving to a different place begins to return, receive it with an open heart rather than immediate resistance. Sometimes a new environment is not about leaving your past behind. It is about giving your future enough space to grow into everything it was created to become. As this journey unfolds, you may discover that love begins to appear in quieter ways than you expected. Instead of grand gestures, it may arrive through consistency, thoughtful conversations, shared laughter, and the comforting feeling that you no longer have to pretend to be someone else. Real connection has a gentle rhythm. It allows two people to understand each other without rushing ahead of the moment. If marriage is part of your path, it will not be built on pressure, but on mutual trust, respect, and a growing sense that walking together feels more natural than walking apart. There is something important here. The strongest foundations are often laid during seasons that seem ordinary because they teach patience, honesty, and the quiet confidence that lasting relationships require. When you look back one day, you may realize that what once felt like unexpected changes were actually invitations to become the person you were always meant to be. Every conversation, every small decision, and every unexpected opportunity was gently preparing you for a life that reflects greater peace and purpose. Even if you cannot see the complete picture today, you do not have to fear what lies ahead. Keep your heart open to new beginnings, welcome meaningful connections with wisdom, and trust that each step has value even before you understand its destination. Don't miss what comes next, because the next part reveals why certain moments of waiting have been shaping your heart far more deeply than you ever imagined. Have you ever wondered why some seasons seem unusually quiet, as if life is asking you to slow down before revealing what comes next? That silence is not empty. It often carries the deepest preparation. The waiting you have experienced has not been wasted, even if there were days when you questioned whether anything was changing at all. Every unanswered question has been teaching patience, and every unexpected delay has been strengthening your ability to recognize what truly matters. Stay with this, because the next step in your journey is not about rushing toward a destination. It is about becoming ready to receive the people and opportunities that genuinely belong in your life. There is someone whose path may cross yours in a way that feels completely natural, almost as though the meeting was quietly arranged long before either of you expected it. They may not immediately stand out in the way you imagined, yet their kindness, steady character, and calm spirit will slowly earn your trust. The conversations you share may begin simply, but over time they will reveal a connection built on understanding rather than appearances. You may notice that this person encourages your growth instead of trying to change who you are. That kind of presence has a way of making your future feel less uncertain and your heart feel more at peace. There is something important here. Genuine relationships are rarely formed through perfect timing alone. They grow through shared honesty, mutual respect, and the willingness to walk forward together one step at a time. As your heart becomes more settled, you may also begin to see why the idea of moving has continued to surface in your thoughts. A different place can sometimes represent more than a new address. It can symbolize a fresh season, healthier routines, meaningful friendships, and opportunities that were difficult to imagine before. You might feel both excitement and hesitation, and that is completely understandable. Let yourself embrace those emotions without feeling that you must have every answer today. Growth often asks you to trust the next step before the entire path becomes visible. The peace you have been searching for is often discovered through faithful movement rather than standing still, and every small decision made with wisdom can quietly shape a future that reflects hope instead of uncertainty. One day, you may smile as you remember the person you are today, realizing how much strength was being formed beneath the surface all along. The questions that once kept you awake will no longer carry the same weight because you will understand that every season had its purpose. The possibility of building a home, sharing your life with someone who values your heart, and beginning a new chapter will no longer feel distant but deeply meaningful. Do not miss what comes next, because the final part brings this message together with a reminder that the most lasting peace is found not in having every detail planned, but in walking forward with confidence, gratitude, and an open heart.